Andreas Krieg. He's from King's College London. Also with us is Mahjoob Zweiri. He's a professor in modern and contemporary history of the Middle East at Qatar University to talk about what's going on in Ramadi. Andreas and Mahjoob, we are hearing now that thousands of Shia militias have arrived near Ramadi. That was what the government was planning to do to see if they can recapture the city of Ramadi. Andreas, will they be able to?
No, I think that's the key problem here. We need to look at this as an insurgency environment where it's very important to build a strong relationship between the security sector and local communities. And this relationship is completely disrupted in most Sunni areas because Sunni communities don't have any relationship with the security sector or with the army. So you're having here a situation where the government in Baghdad is trying to use Shia militias who have absolutely no connection to the local communities and are not trusted by the local communities, trying to fight a war for these local communities. So that is not going to happen. And most of these Shia militias are seen as by local communities as being proxies of Iran. So that again undermines the entire effort by the Baghdadi government.
But Mahjoob, you know, the United States, at least, if you listen to what Kerry is saying, he's downplaying the fall of Ramadi, and the US seems to be confident that Anbar can be recaptured by Iraq. Is he right?
I'm not sure. I think the problem in Iraq is the politics, is the system. As the government itself is fragmented. There is no trust of the government from the Iraqis themselves and the Americans. I think what the Kerry was trying to do is trying to give some support to al-Abadi government, trying to show that Americans they still support his effort to securitize Iraq. However, we have to remember that what was happening in Ramadi is giving us more evidence that the problem in Iraq is politics, is about the fragmented political body, is about the trust, is about undermining bulk of Iraqis who believe that Iraq should be united, and more important is actually the failure of building a strong military institution. Iraq now, after the invasion of the United States, more than 13 years, there is a serious failure of building a serious military institution which can defend the country, not a small minority or majority. Now what we are witnessing in Ramadi is actually the real or the military is failing to deliver, and you get people who already been seen as the enemy of the Iraqis. So I think they complicated the political scene more, and I think any effort from outside will not be helpful at the moment.
Andreas, we did see the video of the forces fleeing Ramadi during that fall. Why did security forces leave?
I think that the pressure was mounting. If you look at Ramadi over the last couple of months, there have been incursions by ISIS fighters along the way, and every single time these security forces were able to withstand. Now the push was way too strong. You see also that local communities there, they don't really trust as I said before, they're not really trusting these mostly Shia security forces in a mostly Sunni majority environment.
But the Shia militias were able to take back some parts of Tikrit, for example, when they were sent in.
First of all, there was a gigantic numerical superiority in Tikrit. It took them weeks to capture a town which is obviously very significant and with Sunni support of Sunni tribes. And even that took weeks to do. Ramadi is a lot more difficult, is a lot more the heartland of what is Sunni Iraq. So in this kind of environment, a lot of the Shia say, why should we stay and stand fighting for someone that they see as a sectarian outsider, which is the Sunnis?
Mahjoob, ISIL has been pushed back, though, from certain areas. But if you look at the US-led coalition, what exactly has it achieved up until this point fighting ISIL? What difference is it making?
I think nothing serious happened. I mean, with the operation in Tikrit, for example, has approved that without having military on the ground, you cannot achieve your goals. Because basically, you show on the map now where is ISIL in Syria and Iraq, and how they communicated, how they control land, and how they actually were able to achieve a lot of goals overnight. And I think the United States realized that without the effort from using their own coalition, using air forces, that will be helpful. However, you need military to be on the ground. You need to follow their activities. You need to fight their all economic sources, because what they are playing with millions of dollars of oil in hand, and they are doing a lot of business in the area, whether in Iraq and Syria, and all of this not being marginalized, not being taken into consideration. And I think I don't see that the United States is serious on facing ISIL in Iraq and Syria. to me, there is no enough evidence that the United States wanted to see ISIL disappear of the political map in the region. I think the debate
That's
now,
quite a statement you're making, Mahjoob.
I say, you know, that statement based on evidence, and one of the most important evidence that the United States waged 3 wars since 1991 overnight and was able to get rid of Saddam Hussein and Taliban overnight, and they were able to secure bring back you know, the situation in Kuwait 1991 on a matter of 20 days. Now this is a war with a group. They are not even a government. They call them non-state actors. There is a serious failure of fighting a smaller group who is not even a state and recognized as a state. And this is what makes me.
This is where the difficulty lies.
Right.
It is not a it's not a state-on-state war. It's an insurgency war, and the Americans are not able to fight it. And they know you need. Correct. You need to put boots on the ground.
Yes.
Okay.
High risk, and in an environment which is a Muslim environment, putting outsiders on the ground was going to make the situation worse.
Thank you very much for both of you for giving us your thoughts. We'll have to leave it there. Well, King Abdullah